We need to stop trusting the internet as much as we do. Welcome back to My Milk, the advice show that switches its format almost every single episode at this point and has no consistency. I hope you're doing well. It's the start of the week following 4th of July weekend, which is kind of hence why this video is going to be a little bit shorter, because I need to just get something out there, which means I'm making a shorter episode so I don't have to edit as much. Use my brain. Today, it's very simple. Prompt is internet privacy. There's a problem. As someone who is a content creator and streams on multiple platforms, I've been noticing this more. And I want to kind of take some time to shine some light on a big issue, which is we forgot to not trust the internet. I think with time, we got more jaded and more trustworthy with our information on the internet, and we forgot that the internet's actually kind of a scary place. And I want to kind of set back into reality that, hey, if you're someone that's commonly on the internet, if you're someone that's using social media apps, if you're someone that is surfing the web, we need to be more careful as a society. So I want to break down some points, just small little topic points, nothing crazy, nothing too heavy lifting. I just noticed this now, and as someone who has been on the internet for basically their whole life, as a young kid to now being 23 years old and still seeing this happening almost every single day, I want to point this out. Stop using your government name as your username for profiles. It is dangerous. It's not even like a bad thing because nobody wants to see a government name as a username. And it's not like I'm trying to tell you to be creative and to make a username that's unique. Although you should do that, because honestly, this is the one time that having a goofy like name and like being extroverted with your name is accepted. Because like you can't go into an office building and be like, hey, I'm Glubsport. It's like, what? No. This is the one time that you get to have a catchy username, and that can be your personality. That could be your persona. That could be who you are. Like for me on the internet, I'm Scram. In real life, I'm Samuel. You go around and talk to me on the street, it's Samuel. There is a little bit of a blend now, but I think that's because my name has become so common with me. People are now used to just calling me Scram, that sometimes in real life scenarios, I've been called Scram unironically. It is important that you do not just leave your name as your government name. There are people on the internet that are not meant to be on the internet. There are people on the internet that are willing to do harmful things. Internet's, again, a scary place. Do not trust it. Your government name is unique. Even if it is a very common name. If your name is John Smith, if you give someone enough time and you're in a chat for long enough and you're describing things about your life, you're talking about, oh yeah, in the city that I live near, they're doing this, or I'm going to a concert soon, or I'm going to the specific location at this time during this day, and you have your name out there and you're like, okay, I'm John Smith. People can track you. I want to make this clear. I'm not doing this to like fearmonger and be like, don't go on the internet, don't search anything. Just don't make your government name your username. And this goes, I see this all the time, and I think this is a new era of social media that I think this has kind of caused this. The vertical streaming space is bad about this. YouTube short streaming and TikTok live. 90% of the people who are engaged in my chat and talk in my chat, they just have it as their government name. Stop. Make up a username. If you're not clever, we have so many tools nowadays to make up a username. You know that rapper, Childish Gambino? He came up with his username by going onto the Wu-Tang Clan name generator. It's that simple. You can find a way to make a unique enough username that doesn't have _XO. Like, we're not in like 2012. let's upgrade a little bit more. That's more of a personal gripe. I just think it's kind of gross when people have like, like numbers in their username, or like they have like underscore XO. Come on. This isn't 2012 anymore. You could pretty much get any username you want on most apps. Especially when it comes to these live streaming service apps. They usually just have a lot of the names available, and you might have to have a couple workarounds, but stuff like, for me, Scramaram has been available on almost every single app. And I can go into the detail of what my name came from, which is honestly a childhood best friend of mine called me Scram all the time. So I used to just have the nickname as Scram. And then I was in school one day and I was trying to think of a Twitch username, and someone came up to me and was like, you should rhyme it with something like Scramram. And I was like, ooh, that sounds kind of good. I tried Scramram didn't work, and then I just added an A and it popped up with Scramaram, and from there that's what came my username. Same thing with Mind Milk. Mind Milk was just something like, I like milk, and I just think an advice show is talking about something from the mind, so I was like, okay, let's just go with Mind Milk. Usernames are not that difficult. Don't undercomplicate it by just making it your government name. Please. I think a lot of people are getting lazy on the internet, leaving a lot of personal information to be discovered, and we have bad digital footprints. You don't know who you're talking to. You can't trust people on the internet. You shouldn't trust people on the internet. And honestly, I think we've missed that step. I think everyone's just so under paranoid about the fact that, hey, you don't know who you're talking to on the other side of a chat log. There were so many PSAs about that growing up, and I feel like nowadays we don't even hear anything about that. It's easier to find who you are. It's leads to the potential threat of identity theft, and you might end up leaving little location clues that might like end up getting yourself tracked down. As something that is so important to me, I have to keep my personal identity pretty much under wraps, because nowadays content creators and streamers and other sorts of social media personalities, swatting is a very common thing. Doxing is a very common thing. These threats to our safety are very common, and it might not ever happen to me, but I know people that it's happened to, and it's a scary thing. It can cause trauma. It can cause literal PTSD if they're not, if something happens and things go way too intense, and you never want to have a feeling of a cop kicking down your door. So if you feel like you are not protecting yourself on the internet, do me a favor, go through your profile and just start getting rid of personal information that you don't need to share with random people on the internet. You wouldn't go up to a random person on the street and just start saying random information about yourself. Why would you do that on your public page? That's just the honest truth. Another big thing, and this is kind of a smaller thing, but I see this a lot. People forget to take their emails out of their username. I have many times people will follow me and they'll follow with their literal email as their username, and that might just be honestly like you're missing a couple steps in the process, or you might not understand how account setup works. Don't ever use your email in your username. Don't give people your email unless you really know who they are and you trust them, because emails, you could find ways to like backdoor an email to log into other stuff. It's not safe to give up your email information. Just don't do it. It's better to be just on the safe side and just avoid using your email for login stuff. And same thing goes for your phone number. You might not think about it. There's a weird trend going on TikTok lives. I've had this happen numerous times. People will literally just post their phone number in my chat. Don't know why. Don't know what causes it. I don't know how to explain myself as clear as possible. Don't do that. Bad idea. Your phone is usually linked to where you live. If you Google search your phone number, I guarantee you'll either find the carrier phone plan name, who's the person on the phone plan. So if it's like a parent or if it's yourself, you'll probably see your name pop up. And then also the phone itself Your phone number is your area code. That's the first and middle number are specific area codes for a specific area. So you should be mindful that, hey, that's dangerous to give up. Now, I don't know how this works in other countries. I don't know if this is the same overseas, and maybe it's not. And maybe the United States just has a really bad problem about giving really easy information to dox ourselves. But stop posting your phone number on things. Just not smart. If you need to give someone a phone number and you want someone to have your number for something, think about using something like Google Voice or a third-party phone calling app online. That way the phone number can't be tracked to you, and it's just instead just a Google Voice number to talk to. I also just recommend, using other voice chat options like Discord or Instagram or whatever social media that you like to use. Just use their calling app. That way you're still within the right of, a little bit of privacy. There's no such thing as real privacy on the internet. That's just the honest truth. You're being kind of monitored 24/7. But there are things that you can do to protect yourself on the internet that you should be doing. I shouldn't have to be telling you this, but I see it all the time, and it's a little alarming. There's some times where I'll go on the internet and I'll see people just giving out blatant information. You don't need to. You can have an identity on the internet without giving vital information away. And obviously stuff happens on accident, and obviously stuff happens where you can clear up some stuff. I recommend maybe even just doing a little back search on yourself. Google your name, see what comes up. Google your name with your town that you grew up in. See what comes up. See if you can get some of that stuff scrubbed off the internet. It's better to be safe than sorry, because you might bother the wrong person and they can find pretty personal information about yourself. They can find stuff about your work or where you go to school. And then they could just go and contact your work and school and get you in trouble. That happens all the time. So please be mindful. You have a footprint on the internet. Please do your best to make sure your footprint is safe and protected, so that way you can enjoy using the internet respectfully. It's a privilege to be on the internet, but it's also a curse. A while back ago, it was easier to be anonymous. Now it's just almost nearly impossible. Don't make it easier for people to figure out stuff about yourself. Be safe on the internet, have fun, and be respectful on the internet, and don't get into too much trouble. And that's going to do it for today's episode. Again, if you guys like this style more of me just giving advice to things that weren't even suggested, more of just stuff that I think about a lot, I have a couple more episodes that I want to do of this. So if you like this style, let me know if I should maybe branch this off into a different kind of stylization. I know someone just recently suggested me doing more like a video essay about a certain topic. I was thinking about maybe starting that, but I got to see how the feedback is for that. So leave a comment down below if you like the idea of that. Suggest more prompts in the description. The Google form is getting a little low, I won't lie. So if you guys have more prompts, feel free to put them in the form, and I will definitely use them on future episodes. And again, subscribe, like, and comment, and share with others, so this way this can grow into a bigger thing. So appreciate it. I hope you have a good one. Peace.